Yeah, so you guys you've got an album out, you've been releasing singles for quite a while now.
Yeah.
Do you think what you're trying to say with your music has changed over time?
I think so, to be honest. Like the first album, I like writing sad songs. I like delving into a depressive state of mind. And as we sort of came out that first album, it went a bit more into like, the good parts of life,
Less
relationships,
angry.
love,
Yeah, happier,
stuff like that.
less angsty.
Maybe I actually had a little bit of money in my pocket for once.
Yeah, I can tell it was the first album. You can tell we were like young. First record, a bit angsty. This, I think we've.
Well, they say the Yorkshire music scene's quite angsty and gritty, so maybe that's what it was. And over time, we have just developed it a bit.
Yeah. All things change. Change is good, I feel.
What sort of bands have come out of Yorkshire that have been quite angsty?
Arctic Monkeys are a big one. We were obviously influenced by them a lot when they were doing their bit.
Cribs, very local to us, aren't they? Cribs, that was very angsty, but loved it, playing around Wakey.
Yeah.
Great. And when
Cribs were great.
Yeah, Pigeon Detectives growing up were massive as well, weren't they? So, and all pretty energetic bands, aren't they?
guitar-led bands, really, is what we had to inspire us, wasn't it?
To start off with, definitely.
Were they the kind of bands that you were going to see?
No, definitely, yeah.
I mean, there's more like, there's a few synthy-led parts, like with Killers. I think Killers were quite a big influence.
Yeah.
So that were it, really. A bit of a blend of the Yorkshire grit with the national, global band, Killers.
But then it changed a bit recently,
sprinkles.
like you say, when you start listening to Tame Impala and stuff recently, that's when, like anything though, things change, don't they?
He's like fused house and alternative indie rock, so it's bloody great.
And in terms of that fusion that you were speaking about there between kind of slightly more American international influences and the British ones, how long and at what point did you kind of find that balance between the two in your music?
It's weird, I don't know if you think about it that much when you're actually writing a song. You just write that sounds good to what you think at the time, and it comes across what you're enjoying.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going out thinking, it needs to be, more like this, more like that.
Yeah.
Things naturally evolve, and I think it's better sounding because of, if it's more natural, it's going to sound better than if you're trying to force something.
Yeah, I think we definitely had more of an American sound to start with, to be honest. I think we've sort of come out that a little bit. I think a big influence at the time were like the Killers, and then we had Kings of Leon, so a lot of it were like a blend of that, the first album.
Stadium rock.
Yeah. And it's moved away a bit as we've gone on. That I Do EP were a bit more like soft synth, more Yorkshire vibes, in a sense. Yeah, man.
And can you see personal events in your life having an impact upon the music? Like as you grow up and change, can you see how that directly impacts upon it?
I think you have more things to draw on. Like we wrote a lot of songs about where we played with the band, and also where we travelled and stuff. Like Swim, Alive, obviously Ljubljana and Taipei Nights are places we've been to and gone and written about that. Whereas the first album was, like I say, it was a bit more angry, but it was all about Ponty.
You can only write what you know about,
Yeah.
can't you? If you've only lived in your room, you can only write about your chairs and your bed and the walls that you can see. So more things we do, more we've got to write about. The aim is to experience more, and then we'll have a killer album out the back of it.
It's easy to write when you're just saying something that's happened as well, like we find, isn't it? When it's something that you've actually
Common Tongue were about. Vicky don't mind me saying this. We're about like Connor the guitarist, like meeting some Spanish girl out in Barcelona just
after a festival.
Yeah, and then just like falling in love with her instantly, and couldn't really communicate. The language barrier were a bit rough, but they just proper got along, and that's what Common Tongue is about. Really.
It's so quick to write that when it's about something that's actually happened.
Yeah, when it's real.
Do you ever notice that with your music, that it maybe resonates differently in a country where they can't understand what you...
Well, the Germany's it's done all right in Germany, hasn't it?
Germany as well.
I don't know what.
I think the Europeans have a bit of a different taste in music at the minute. Like it's getting a bit more dance. It's very pop over here right now. Whereas in Germany, there's a few more guitar bands and like indie bands leading the way in the charts. So it sort of appeals to that market that's a bit more current in Germany at the minute. But who cares, mate? We just have to write what we write. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't.
I find when we're busking and stuff though, which is a good way, I think, a litmus test of testing like what people think on the street, 'cause it's the initial feedback you get. I think a lot of the people who come up and speak to us, obviously people buy a CD, but the ones that stay and talk and are really interested about it and talk about them playing, learning an instrument, learning the guitar, I think a lot of them are often like from Spain and Europe and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of people that talk to us are really inspired by it, I don't know whether it's because they've not got as much of a, not bothered about talking as much, they're a bit more brave about it.
It's weird, isn't it? Because like UK and the US pretty much create most of the global music, so they're gonna come over here and be like, oh, the UK, they're a band, they must be making stuff that's on the radio over here and stuff. It's just the way
maybe
it's the way the music industry's
So
set up.
definitely really interested. Like coming to a lot of gigs, we get a lot of people from Europe, don't we? Coming
It's sick,
even to see
mate.
us here. It's great. It's amazing.
Can't ask for more than somebody coming over at water to see you, can you?
Why do you think British music is so big and it has done worldwide?
Great question. Go on, Matt.
It's a bloody tough question. I don't know.
The Beatles.
Yeah, the Beatles, I think, really established something, didn't they? But I think the English language helps as well. Like, it's the widest. Is it the widest spoke language in the world? I think it is. Maybe it's not. It's
You've
going to
said
be
it.
like Mandarin in it, and then English.
How do you go?
Yeah.
But like in the Western
Population.
world, it's English in it, and I think that's what's led a lot of it. And then you do have like legacy acts like the Beatles and like Led Zeppelin and like huge acts that have made it global.
Yeah.
You don't find that as much with Spanish bands when we can't understand them, or like
It's that it has got the worldwide appeal.
the
It's
industry's based in
fascinating.
the West, isn't it?
We toured with a band from Germany, and it fascinates me how they, obviously their first language is German, but they're writing all the songs in English, and it blows my mind that. But it's clearly because, well, it is
Right, song Jim, mate.
because
See what
of
we get.
A, because of the language thing, but B, I think it's because there's so many bands that have come from England and they inspired people that they'd rather do it like that. Bowie, I think, is a
maybe.
big one as well, and that's
Yeah.
what it is. So yeah, the international stars have come from UK and America, haven't they?
Probs. Who knows, mate? We're guessing.
Well, no, I'm not. Biggest musicians internationally have come from the UK and America.
What
Apart from
band?
Enrique Iglesias.
All right, well,
You mentioned,
Sound.
sorry?
come on, mate. I don't have anything else to say.
You mentioned busking
Yeah.
a few questions back.
Yeah.
How exactly does that?
Digging in.
How does that impact what you're writing? Has that affected the way you write songs, do you think?
We used to busk a lot more, and we noticed like when you're busking, you're trying to keep the attention of someone who's just passing. So everything will like quite flary. Elliot will be doing like a fill every 4 beats.
Groove change every verse.
And, yeah, I'll be going like to falsetto to like low vocal to staccato to holding notes, and everyone's then like, what is happening? Then the turn, and then they give you coins. So we started doing that in like the first lot of songs we wrote. Every song had about 8 songs within it that we glued together that just totally changed direction, and it were interesting to listen to, but it was weird. It was nuts.
So
From a standard songwriting perspective, it was
It
mental.
didn't translate as well to record. Live, it was great, wasn't it? But it didn't
Yeah.
translate well to something you'd put on
Yeah, so
in the car.
really busking it sort of hindered us maybe a
But
bit.
I think it's a good way, on the flip side though, when you've written a song in the studio or you've recorded some stuff and you want to, again, like I was saying about litmus test, about testing things out, so you can play a song and you can like kind of see what the feedback's like.
Do you know what a litmus test is?
Yeah, it's where you're trying to see if it's acid or alkaline, isn't it?
Is that what you're doing with the songs? Yeah.
Yeah. See if, it's acid enough.
Alright, sick.
Yeah. So
Glad
it's
you
good
know.
to test public reaction. Litmus test.
Alright, sick.
And you funded the debut album as well through the busking.
Yeah.
Knows his stuff. You know his stuff, mate. How do you know that? Been reading up on us, haven't you?
We did. It killed you hating it though, didn't we? We bust like
I
every
did.
day to fund that because obviously without doing it yourself, it was really hard work. Worth it.
Well-
I like the idea. We met everyone who come and liked us, bought a CD. A lot of stuff you see online, like people are liking the page, but we like
It's a bit
shook
hard, isn't
hands.
it? Yeah.
We shook hands, met everybody who bought a album sample,
Yeah.
and I think there's something really strong in that. I think you can tell at a gig and stuff that people sort of buy into a bit more because there's that bit more of a personal side, and that's because of the busking.
Elliot's right, that did nearly kill me, right? We did.
Yes.
We literally did about 33, 35 days, non-stop, every day. We got up at nuts hours, like 6 a.m, to get the first out on the streets to make sure we got the best spots.
There was
And,
bits
like,
where we were going, we were taking
I
sleeping
felt
bags in
like
the car.
I felt like killing him. I think at one point he went, "I know we hate each other, mate, but we're mates." Or something like
I
that.
loved it, mate. I love it because of that.
I
You're
s-
meeting people. I like meeting people. I love meeting people,
I
and you
think
meet a lot of
it
people.
angers me that he loves it so much as well. You know what I mean?
That's what
To
life's
get-
about, I think. Meeting people, isn't it?
Yeah,
Right, songs
you're
about
right,
it.
mate. I don't. Sorry, mate.
Someone's got to be miserable. We can't all be happy, otherwise it'd be far too easy, wouldn't it?
That's right. I am miserable.
Do you think you cared more about making the Dead Room all as a result because you'd worked so hard to get to that point where you could actually go into the studio?
Maybe, probably. It'd have been nicer to have a bigger push behind it. We put our blood, sweat and tears into it literally. And it was like...
Yeah, I couldn't believe
maybe
it.
if somebody just gave us 100 grand and went, make that, we'd probably rush it out, be a little bit unhappy with it. But we did take time over it and we made sure it was sick before it went out.
It was good, I loved it. And the fact it got, like I say, the top 40 when it was just done ourselves, you should be proud of it, aren't you, when you've had no help. Really, obviously a lot of help with people getting involved with fans and stuff and different venues and management at the time, but like no one putting money into it. You just feel like no investment, which hopefully you'd think we'll just put a magnifying glass on it and do whatever we've done on a bigger scale, but we're obviously mad. Proud of that.
Yeah, man.
In terms of playing live and not busking but on the stage, are you still coming out to a different song every night? Are you still doing that?
Well, yeah, we were deciding that today, weren't we?
I don't even know what we're going to come out to today. We don't come out to song of busking.
That'd be great. We
should start
do.
Yeah.
Out of the van.
We set a little cloth up at back and just pop out.
What would be the song you'd come out busking to?
Don't know. I don't feel like dancing.
What, by Scissor Sisters?
Yeah.
Great, because you're not up for
And
it.
I'd just come out miserable.
I thought you'd have some kind of sad. Yeah, that's what I mean. I thought you'd have some kind of sad, soulful.
That is, isn't it?
Mad world or
It's like
something.
happy but sad, that.
Mad world. That's what you definitely have.
Maybe, mate. I did enjoy it when we used to busk that, actually.
Yeah, I know.
I went into my inner soul and I just sort of like, everything was dark for 5 and I had a great time.
So we'll see. I don't know what we're walking out to tonight. I like the idea. Last tour we had like a song for the tour that we walked out to tie it all together. So I want to find one that we can have like for this tour.
I want
To
to
be
have
confirmed.
Lighthouse Family lifted. We could be lifted from the shadows. Lifted.
Don't know.
Oh yeah. That'd be so good.
Let's do it.
Don't think they're having it, mate.
What else do you do to keep it fresh, like playing live? Because obviously you've been going for a few years now, I've been playing some of the songs for about 5 years. How do you keep them?
Just don't practice.
We did do one gig
Just
where
catch
we
ourselves off guard.
practiced,
What I
didn't
do is not memorise a set list and then every song's a surprise. So I'm like, oh right, I do next signal. It causes issues though when I miss the first beat, you know what I mean?
I just love it. I don't know, it's weird. I just love it.
Can you tell why I get frustrated?
I could just do it forever. I don't have to freshen it. I don't know. I do love it. Got new lights this one. That's what we've done. New theme. We have a new theme each tour, don't we? And new songs and stuff to play. So that's what keeps it.
I feel
fresh.
like if the Chinese tried to talk to you, like just tapping your head, you just start going, I love it. I love this, mate.
It's the new stuff. This one we're doing. We've got a cover that we're playing out. We've not done a cover on a tour ever before. Moby. We recorded it and done it.
Yeah, we always used to cringe at it a bit, didn't we? We'd just be like, oh, we're not throwing a cover in, it's all about original tracks and we're not doing anything but.
No, yeah.
And now we're doing a cover. So, yeah.
It's good though. It's not an overplayed one. It's a good.
Well, Barnaby didn't know what it was, did he?
Yeah, it's good. And that, to be fair, that in itself, he got sampled it from somebody else. So it's like a cover of a cover.
Yeah. Yeah, mate.
I've got one question left turned off.
Alright, mate, sound. How are your arms doing? Alright.
Starting to get a bit shaky.
Yeah, right.
Let's do that. Yeah, so there was one moment from the band's history that you could relive. But one moment you hate.
Stop it, you
Great
journalistic weirdo.
Go on, you go first. You're going to edit out these herbs.
I can't even think, mate. It all just merges into one.
Oh, really? There's loads.
No, I'll have one, sorry.
There's loads of highlights. I liked when we met Dermot O'Leary. I know it's a big one. We went and did like a live session for him.
That was great. It was
panicked.
weird though, mate.
Matt panicked.
Well, I think the whole band panicked with the fact that we decided, all right, first time live on radio. It happens to be BBC Two, Dermot O'Leary's Live Lounge. We said, instead of just playing our instruments, just smashing out a set, why don't one of us just play steel drums? None of us know how to play steel drums.
We took some steel drums down.
So,
I was playing piano.
You were playing piano. We decided to do Police, Walking on the Moon. It was
So you gotta do a cover,
an
haven't you?
octave too high for my range, and then Will, the bassist, were on steel pan, and then guitarists play guitar. Were Eddie there then?
No.
Who were
It was
there?
great. That was just us four.
Just those four.
It was great. We were a mad day, and he was proper nice. It was good, wasn't it?
He was sick. He was a great guy. We gave him some Haribo sweets.
We gave him some Pontefract cakes.
We did.
Yeah.
Great times.
Yeah. So what's your best moment then?
All right. I can't take that one. Mine would probably. probably be my favourite is when we played Coco in London. It wasn't like the best gig ever, but you just looked up and like,
Over
we're an old
1,000
theatre,
in that.
so like there were a sea of people at bottom, and then it was like tier 1, tier 2. Your best mates were in the crowd.
Yeah, we've been really good.
We were top.
There's loads, aren't there? Festival. I love this. Like today, the first one, because we played Birmingham then, but we had a few people come on the tour. So we've got Barnaby over here, fantastic guy with the camera. We've got Joel, the sound man. Get everyone together. Brilliant.
I do love how happy you are.
Gotta be, aren't you? My glasses are full, always.
Yeah, that was great. Thanks so much.
Mate.
Cheers.
All right, thank you. Some
No
absolutely
worries.
fantastic
Thanks,
questions.